I'm Robert Overholser of Lüfteknic, partnering with Idea Television on our 991 GT3 development video series. We're up in Ocean City on a multi-day event. It's called H2O International, and it's been a show that over the years has grown from just a humble picnic atmosphere of a handful of Volkswagen enthusiasts getting together to basically everything from 1970-something to current day, Lamborghinis, all the way down to the craziest of old diesel pickup trucks. And then you get into the high-end exotic, that's the 991 GT3 that we brought, and it was something also that people don't have a chance to maybe see some of that stuff. Part of it is being able to show other folks what you've got, compare, contrast, and some of it's the creativity and how the car appears, some of it's the technical parts and pieces, mechanics, and it's something where it allows everybody to have their creativity shown. We finished Project Stuka, drove it up here on its maiden voyage, it's been really well received. We finished at 4 o'clock in the morning on Friday morning, had a couple hours of sleep and got in it and drove it up to Ocean City. A lot of people thought we trailered this car, but we actually drove it. And it got a lot of fancy stuff, parts and pieces, race suspension, this, that, and the other, and a crazy turbo motor. But we do have street tires on it, and what I feel like is something that's enjoyable about these cars is actually driving them to the events. And a lot of the parts and pieces we used on this car were used items and things that we had been collecting over the years, and it really came together in a spectacular fashion. One of the things that a lot of people are inquiring about is what is the paint all about? And something that you see in the camouflage pattern that's on the car harks back to the World War I aircraft of the Germans. And it was something where they actually used bolts of fabric in what was called lozenge camouflage. And we have some styling cues of the 70s, RSR kind of stuff that was used in Porsche Motorsport at the time, but also have used some modern parts to kind of bring it into kind of a contemporary fashion. The engine is in this car is actually an early 90s, or kind of referred to as 965 engine, so it's out of an early 90s 911 turbo. Transmission is a 5-speed G50 out of that same car. And in all the parts and pieces, there's 930 rear trailing arms, 935 coilovers, a bunch of ERP, suspension parts and pieces were used. Almost all of the rubber has been taken out of the suspension. It's a 10.5-inch front wheel and 11-inch rear wheel. They're two different wheel manufacturers, a Kinesis in the front, Fixie in the back. We threw some Continental tires on there and it's really made the car look great. Some of the stuff on the interior kind of went back to that early 70s style. Everybody sees the wild colors, and once they're drawn in to look at the car, they start looking at some of the details, and one of the things is this hood badge. We actually had a customer that liked to be participating in his restoration that we were doing not too long ago, and came in with his badge. He thought he had gotten something that was actually appropriate for his car. Unfortunately, it didn't fit his. So what the Porsche people know that something's not quite right, but for this car, it seems to be perfect with its odd colors.